Emmanuel, God is with us. Emmanuel, God is with us. Hey everybody, I'm out in my garden. It's in the little porch garden where I have rainwater. Most of my garden has no irrigation and I just rely upon rainwater. But where the grass is growing, I have the situation where my native plants can't handle the irrigation. They just die from the irrigation. So I had to come up with a solution of finding woodland plants that can handle that water. And I picked woodland plants because they're small. And as you can see, this is a tiny space. So sometimes those big tropical plants that do fine with the water in my zone, they just overwhelm the space. They grow really big. I have to somehow try to contain them and keep them in a pot. But those slow growing woodland plants can give you a tropical field if you pick the right ones. I want to suggest to you golden seal. Golden seal is a very versatile plant. It has the 5 fingers, so it looks very tropical, but it is slow growing. It has a thick root system, so it is somewhat drought tolerant. It can be evergreen, and if you get cold enough, it could die back to the ground, and then it will come back as soon as the weather warms up for it, which is what happened this year. You know, all over the United States this year, we had it a little cooler than usual. I got a flower for the first time ever from my golden seal. I've never seen the flower. I'm in zone 10B. It's not supposed to get cold enough for it to flower. But this year, it got cold enough. So when you see my plant, do notice the flower. Actually, I should probably do a video and show it to you special because I don't want you to miss it. The plant is got this beautiful leaf structure. The leaf is, it is not bothered by most pests. It's because golden seal doesn't taste good to most pests. So it's not bothered by most pests. It's a great garden plant. It's not noshed on, you know. Only the very rare will bother a golden seal plant. So I would highly encourage you to add it to your shady border. It is short. Put it in the front of the shady border. It takes forever to take over a space, but if you're like me, you buy a little, you put it in different spots, you see where it does good, and just keep on buying the plants. They're not that expensive. So you can build up your collection and have a nice little setup eventually, you know? So, you know, I just thought I'd share that with you. And without further ado, let's take a look at my beautiful golden seal flower. Let me know, you know, if you have a small space where you like a little tropical feel, but those huge, tall tropical plants just don't work for you. There are a lot of woodland plants that have a tropical feel to them. There's all kinds of trout lilies and different things that have a tropical feel. There's even orchids that have a tropical feel, but they're woodland, slow growing. They're not evasive because they're native, you know. Think about it. So there she is. I'm just doing this so you can get an idea of what she looks like. This is golden seal. I really like this plant. I spread the root out hoping that it would come up in different spots, but it looks like I got one plant. And this one is 3 inches tall. I've had them be 6 inches tall for me before, and I've had the leaf be a lot wider than this. But since this one is flowering, let me show you the flower. Oh my goodness, I think it might have been pollinated. I might have a berry coming. How exciting is that? Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I'm really, really excited about this grouping. I now have my fern. Now you guys, in my area, because I'm in zone 10B, this is the way my fern dies back. It didn't get cold enough to take the plant out completely, but it does die back. And it'll start unfurling new ferns now, new fern fronds, as it gets a little warmer. This spot is partially shaded, and that's what golden seal likes in zone 10B, because we are short day, so it can take a sunnier area, a sunnier spot. This is partial shade all the time, and it can even take full sun, morning sun in my area. And so there it is. Of all the woodland plants that I planted this one before, usually in a pot, but it did so well I thought it could do fine in the ground, and sure enough, it's doing great. As is my fern. This is a male fern. I can grow drops this ferns really easy in my zone because they are drought tolerant and they don't mind being evergreen, you know. So that I wanted to show it to you. And I'm going to chit chat with you a little bit, if I haven't already done it in this video, but I want to talk to you a little bit about it. So I wanted to make sure you see my flower. I took a video of her earlier, but I believe she's been pollinated because I see something on her. Let me see. My hands are all grubby. I've been in the dirt. You see? I think I'm going to get a golden seal berry. And if I get golden seal seeds, your girl is going to try and grow some golden seal from seed in zone 10B. I usually buy plants for these because most of them need a chill period. And having a chill period in my zone is very unusual. But I wanted to make sure you saw, look at this leaf on here. This is a thin leaf, but you guys, it's so velvety. It feels so good to touch it. You know, it feels healing, in fact. Something about it feels healing. But this is all the plant ever gets. So if it's bigger than this, you have to plant a root system for each one of these plants like this. I spread the root out hoping for more plants, but I just got one this year, and next winter I think I'll try to add 10 in, because I'd love to have this whole space be this plant right here, because you know it's a great front of the border plant. And I think if I order them in the winter, I get mine from Native Wildflowers, that they've chilled it, and then I will get that little flower and then a cute little berry afterwards. You guys, this is what you call happiness. This was the hyacinth. It flowered, did its whole thing. As you can see, she's on her way out. I like seed heads, so these don't normally come back from me, and I like seed heads, so you'll see that I'm letting all my plants go to seed heads, right? She put out another flower. This is a brand new flower. She just sent out another flower after. I've never seen that on a hyacinth in my life. I was wondering why she was stretching out like that, but she decided I got a little bit more in me. Okay, so that is funny. You know, plants will let you know if they're happy. So she's finishing the bloom there. This is a brand new bloom that started. Have you ever seen that? I'm shocked.